People say I ain't no good, and I'm crazy as a loon. Cause I shave my head in the morning, pick guitar in the afternoon. Just like old Chief and Charlie, I like to lay around in the shade. Well, I ain't got no money, but you better believe I got it made. Cause I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, just leave this bald-headed country boy alone.
So before we get started today, I just want to tell y'all, listeners, I heard you. You said it, the ad's too long at the beginning of the show. So we're going to space them out. You're only going to hear some now, then you hear some in the middle, so don't be bothered when you hear me pop up in the middle of your show today. Starting off for us is one of my friends. She started their own moonshine company. Let me tell you, I got a new favorite moonshine. Not only do I absolutely adore Sarah Blake, Blake now has a badass moonshine, and it's called Blake's Moonshine, and I am obsessed with it. They have this caramel apple delight, and if you are from the South or anywhere and it's like moonshine, but like real moonshine, like real good moonshine, y'all remember what that apple moonshine used to taste like? This right here is so damn close that it is ridiculous. You would have think there's some backwoods folks from down in South Georgia making this. It's so damn good. And you can try it right now. All you got to do is go to onlysarahblake.com, only S-A-R-A Blake.com, and you can order you some right now. And trust me, y'all know how much I like drinking and having a damn good time. I wouldn't be putting some alcohol on here that I didn't actually drink. So I got a bottle sitting on my desk right now. Thank you to Sarah and Matt for sending it to me, and thank y'all for being part of the Josh Terry podcast. Y'all please go check them out now, onlysarahblake.com, and get you some of this Blake Moonshine now. I want to give a special thank you to Project K9 Hero. Them and Cashman's Pub just came on to be a sponsor for us for an entire year. So if you guys love puppy dogs, if you guys love supporting our military and law enforcement, you guys need to go check out Project K9 Hero. Go make a donation. Go do whatever. Buy some gear to show your support. Thank you to Jason Johnson and also to my guy Ron at Cashman's Pub. Ron is opening up a couple other spots. He's already got the library in Macon, Georgia. And let me tell you, when we go out to Macon, that is where we pregame. We pregame at Cashman's. We have a good time. They got good food. They always got good music. And Ron is letting me bring some artists down there to play. So y'all do me a favor. If you're in Macon, Georgia, and you're looking for a spot to eat, go check out Cashman's Pub. If you're looking for a spot to get drunk and hang out with your friends, Cashman's Pub is the place to go. Special thank you to Mr. Blake over at Gerald Electric Company. Right here in Cochran, Georgia. They can handle all your commercial and industrial electrical construction and maintenance needs. This old fella came on middle of the month, so this ad ain't completely finished, but what's cool about it, they're right here out of Cochran, Georgia. It's a family-owned business, and they're going to be coming here in the next couple of days and actually doing an episode and telling you guys more about them and their company. So, y'all, please do me a favor and go check them out on all social media platforms and give them a call for any of your commercial and industrial electrical needs today. That's Gerald Electric Company. Ask for Blake. His phone number is 478-279-3308, and tell him you heard it right here on the Josh Terry podcast. A good buddy to the show decided to sponsor this month. DPF Alternatives at 314 Garrison Road in Macon, Georgia. You can find this good old boy on Facebook at DPF Alternatives, Macon, Georgia. They service diesel vehicles, semis, pickup, tractors, heavy equipment, anything that uses diesel. They clean all emission systems and diesels, and they give you a 1-year warranty. They also sell aftermarket filters, offer 24-hour service. Look, my dad recently, this is how we got hooked up with these guys. My dad recently had to take his truck somewhere to get it serviced, and the guys over at DPF hooked us up, and we come to find out that he listened to the show because his sister had been on the show a lot. So pretty much like family now. So if your diesel needs its emission system cleaned or serviced, I'm telling you, go check out my guys over at DPF in Macon, Georgia. You can call them now at 478-973-8502.
Tell them you heard their ad on the Josh Terry podcast and get $50 off. DPF Alternatives Macon, Georgia.
Shout out to my boys over at Deep South Chemical. A couple weeks ago, they heard the ad on the podcast, and they sent me over some of the stuff that they sell. Some chemicals that you wash your vehicles with, some degreasers, some tire shine, some waxes, all that good stuff. And let me tell you, folks, their stuff isn't like the shit you get at Walmart. This isn't like the shit you get from O'Reilly's. They gave me this stuff for my tires and rims, and all I had to do was spray it on and wipe it off. I didn't have to scrub. I didn't have to break my damn back. Their stuff literally was so good, I just had to wipe it off. I know I would have used these guys again even if they wouldn't have sponsored the show. So it tickled me when they decided to do it this month. So I need you guys to please go look up Deep South Chemical. Call them today. They'll ship the stuff to you. Their phone number is 404-909-4257. That's Deep South Chemical. Tell Mr. Scott that Josh Terry sent you. Let me tell y'all about Blue Collar Alliance. Yeah, I need y'all to go look it up on Facebook right now. It is a great group on Facebook, and it's way more than that. My buddy, Bubba Malbrew, is helping out blue-collar workers left and right. He also has a roofing company. Just go look it up if you don't mind. Blue Collar Alliance. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Josh Terry podcast. We are in Nashville at Airbnb recording our first show of the week. Tomorrow we got 3 at Live Oak, so if you guys can come out tomorrow between 2 and 6, we've got some really good artists performing and Dustin Heron. It's going to be a really good time. But with us today is Mr. Scott and Miss Rebecca. If you've heard Myles on the show before, this is his parents. And I wanted to do an episode with them just to kind of talk about what it's like raising Myles, the opportunities they're seeing with him, and just pretty much how cool it is and the positive, I guess, effect that y'all have had on him. And besides for just them being here, I also got Cam and Chili Dog sitting at the table having some beers with us.
All right now.
Dustin Heron is in the corner, but at least he's out the closet. Yeah, you want to keep going? You like that?
Yo,
You
the
like
pizza's
that?
here.
The pizza here. We're not fucking stopping. You can eat it while we're doing it. But anyway, well, thank y'all for coming. Pull your mics a little bit closer to both of y'all, by the way. Yeah, you can move them. It ain't gonna make no noise or anything. You got to kind of get up on them. But anyway, so first off, introduce yourselves and kind of tell us how Myles has got started on social media and everything. Because I know you're the one handling all this stuff.
Yeah, I do most of it. I'm Scott, and but man, he pretty much had an Instagram that he started, and we came out to the Live Oak show, the first one we went to.
Yeah.
Because he had a TikTok that actually got.
It was him in school, right?
Yeah, it was at a
Playing
talent
Way
show.
More Blues, right?
Way More Blues.
Yeah, I remember that.
And man, Priscilla Block walked up to me after he performed and was like, "Hey, you gotta get that kid on social media." And I didn't know who she was anyway. So that started the Instagram, is what's really set
Well,
him
it's a
off.
big deal if Priscilla notices you. She's I know like Dustin and her kind of came up together and everything, and I've got to be around her a little bit, not as much as him. But if she's paying attention to you, you're doing something right.
Yeah. He does real good. But you know,
What's it? Y'all talk just as much as Myles does. He always tickles me. I always try to get him to talk a little bit more, and I think I'm gonna do the same thing with y'all.
Yeah.
You just sit. Don't just pretend like the mic's not there. Just have some fun and talk about you youngin' and how much he loves music and y'all's influence on him. It'll be fun.
Yep.
Which one of y'all kind of got it started in it?
Well, so Myles, I'll just say, like, from an infant, he's been sick, like, his whole life.
I didn't know that.
And, he has several diseases in his background and several things that's happened. And music's always been his channel. Like, it's always been how he deals with it. and we never really pushed it on him. Like, he legit just on his own. He, like, it started, honestly, I was folding a load of laundry, and I had him sitting on the bed. He was probably 6 or 7 months old, and he had a coat hanger. He was playing guitar. It was his guitar.
Let's go.
And then he was just making his own sounds, his own beats, music.
What's some of the battles like with the diseases and stuff he's had to deal with so far? Because was he 12?
He's 11.
11?
Yeah, so he was probably 4 months old, and he had an anaphylactic. He was breastfed up till then, and he had an anaphylactic shock to formula the first time I gave it to him. So he actually stopped breathing when brought him back. Yeah. And so from then on, everything we fed him, he had an allergy to. So we were like, something's going on. This kid can't eat any food. And we found out he has an esophagus disease, which basically he's allergic to foods, but they come and go.
Yeah.
So, like, he can eat them 1 week and the next week he can't.
Oh,
He still has that, but it's completely manageable now. So he's good. He had a blood issue where his bone marrow had kind of shut down. They were like screening him for leukemia. Like, he kept having to get transfusions and just in and out of the hospital. And then the nerves in his eyes, like, he's had eye surgeries. He lost his finger, which was
How did he lose his finger? I heard you say that earlier.
Yeah. Which finger was it? Because I was pretty interested
his
as a guitar
finger,
player.
His index
Oh
finger.
my God.
Yeah.
Tony Iommi, you know that name? No, lead
I have no
guitarist for Black Sabbath was also missing the tip of his index finger. That's why they had to play distortion so hard.
It was Easter. We were with a whole, all the family, and he was on my grandma's electric wheelchair riding it, and he went up the wooden ramp, and his finger got caught in between the wooden ramp and and
That is, I just want you to know. I know that sucks. That
Chili
sounds
dog bakery and
horrible,
pizza, wide-eyed.
but it is not even close to what I thought it was going to be.
that's it.
My God.
I thought it was going to be something that was just insane.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, we had him out in the woods chopping
Yeah.
chopping lumber.
Yeah.
Old hatchet come down and took his finger off.
Working out there.
Just trying to ride a wheelchair.
That literally happened to my cousin in middle school. He was in the Boy Scouts, and he went to go cut a log. And when he went to cut a log, it went through the wood, and it went right into his foot. And like half of his foot was messed up for the longest time.
Wow.
So wheelchair, I was not expecting that one.
Speaking of that, we were demolishing a house that my dad had bought property on, and I used a sledgehammer to knock a board loose. My dad was right there. I don't know if he's the dumbass or me, but I stuck the 20-penny nail down inside of his boot, like through his boot, straight through his foot. And I don't know if I've taken a beating that bad after that one, but
Yeah,
it was a rough call.
Rough. What have y'all done really with him? I know you don't really push him. I know you kind of talked about it. You just kind of let him develop on his own and everything. But one of y'all had to be like a big influence in the house when it comes to music. I know that's why I love music and certain artists the way I do is because my mom and dad.
Same.
So one of y'all had to be pushing the good shit on him.
Man, I've done construction my whole life. Run H&G Construction there in Madisonville, and man, I raised him. I raised him and my daughter we didn't have babysitters really, so man, they stayed with me. She worked Walmart, so I had to take them, and so that's what we listened to, in the truck, and man, that's what he fell in love with it, I guess. But
When did he actually pick up a guitar and start playing?
He was like a year old.
Peter Frampton.
Oh,
He
man.
heard Peter Frampton.
Live?
No,
Oh.
no, on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I mean, not like legitimately live, because
Yes,
that'd have been weird. But I meant like the Peter Frampton live album comes
The-
alive. That's a good one.
Yeah, what is that? Frampton Comes Alive.
Yeah.
And then he heard that song.
Do you feel like we
Do you
do?
feel like
There
I
we
do?
go.
Do you
All right.
feel
Yeah.
like
That one hit me too. Okay, good.
He
I
used to,
like
I
that.
don't even know that song.
Yes.
He used to take a straw and hook it to the top of his microphone,
Yes.
and he would make like his guitar was.
I had a garden hose run up through an old lamp and a old softball bat with a karate belt strapped around it. I was Peter Frampton in my bedroom.
I wish I'd have done so. I just played sports and played in the mud.
I did those too. But
So again, those are what kids do. We have distractions, right?
yes.
So when y'all were saying, his different ailments and stuff, he was already having these issues from birth, basically.
pretty much. Yeah.
So when you talk about influences and stuff like that, y'all, it's making more and more sense that he's really doing this
It's just who he
himself.
God,
so
He's doing it. He's searching for his own way. You know, I know that if I ever have problems in my life, whatever they may be, music's always been my comfort, my go-to
Safe
thing.
haven.
Yeah.
And so when Josh is asking, like, which one of y'all pushed it or whatever, you know what I mean? And you're able to say, we didn't. That even more explains it to me that's where he's found comfort in it. And you can tell when he plays, and especially the style of music he plays, the songs he chooses to play. True. I'm like, this kid, he gets it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's him. As I was trying to explain this to somebody the other day, it's like when I hear a song and it's relatable to me, like it's because it's me. It's some part of my life I connect with that song. And with Myles, it doesn't matter what video or whatever. I've never seen him play anything he didn't want to play. It doesn't seem like he looks like he only wants to do what he wants to do, and y'all haven't asked him to do anything else.
Oh yeah, he won't play anything. He doesn't.
No, that's fine. Just hit the shit. Have y'all had anybody approach y'all about him doing anything different? Because I know, like, y'all have met, Kenny Chesney now, he invited y'all back. Some other cool folks have, too. Has anybody, told y'all, hey, let's get him to do this instead of this?
Not directly that wanted to have him do something different, but they like Americans Got Talent recently contacted him, and they go through his Instagram. They're like, man, this video is not good enough. I need a video where you can see him more, you can hear him more, and I don't edit his videos. Like I just
between you and Chili.
I walk up and take the
just lean in
video,
there
and
and
that's
talking.
it.
Yeah, well, that's the tricky thing with social media, too. Like, it's listening for keywords, listening for volumes, listening for all this kind of stuff, and that we can't help, and then it gets put in their algorithm and stuff. But when you just do, like, the pure shit like y'all are doing, I mean, I don't see why you would want to push him anyway. I know that me and you kind of talked about the America's Got Talent thing. I'm not a big fan of those shows, even though I got buddies like everybody else does that's done them. I think it would be I think it could destroy a kid or somebody with a weak mind like me if I got on there and they told me I wasn't good enough at a young age. Like, I don't think it would do me well. I think I might even quit. I've seen a lot of kids quit sports because they didn't make a team. I can imagine being on America's Got Talent if they say, hey, you're not good enough, to where it just will fucking hurt
Well, at
you.
his age and it's all happening, I would say relatively kind of fast.
It's fast.
And he's enjoying what he does. I'm sure he enjoys being able to meet new people and getting to meet his heroes and go to shows and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he's still a kid. He just wants to play music and play what he wants to do. Mm-hmm. Now, after he does it enough times and you ask him, like, what do you really want? I feel like Myles will shoot you straight. Be like, yeah, I want to go on TV. Well, you understand, if you go on TV now, there's people been doing it 20 years, and some of them ain't even going to get picked. He'll probably be like, I want to be on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be like, ain't nobody played a Wailing song yet. I'm going to do it. So I'm with you on that, Josh. Like, it's even somebody like me who's been doing it for 10 years. There's an agenda when you go on these shows.
Yeah.
You need a backline. You need this story. They want to make it out like this because they want to capture these audiences.
It ain't dark enough. It's not suspenseful. There's no storyline.
We're going through that right now.
Yeah.
With we wrote the little storyline on the way down here, and I purposely haven't given it to him yet because I thought we'd talk about it on the show, and it would hit here first. And but I got all of it. It seems like a lot.
Yeah.
And I looked at her on the way here. I was like, man, we lived this. Like, it's crazy to talk about. But
And ain't it crazy how it's so easy when it's the truth?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not hard for y'all to write it. It's just like, we need to write down what we've been through.
It's still hard in hindsight.
The
Once you put it on paper, you go, God Almighty.
The issue with me with that, especially when you lived it, is I don't know if I want other people profiting off my pain. It's one thing if I profit off my pain, but it's a whole nother thing if somebody else does. If they take my story or Myles' story or whatever, and they make it so bad that they're just going it for sympathy, I guess, instead of like, oh, I beat this, overcome this. And they just want to play the sympathy card, not the survivor card, not the victor card.
We don't
Yeah.
want that either.
That's that's what I keep saying. I don't want him to be in this kid that's on TV and they're like, look what, he went through and paint this big thing. Like, I just want to,
Yeah.
I mean, if he wants to someday, that should be something he can write a song about.
Yeah.
What he went through.
I hate that every time they put someone up there that the inspiration has to come from some deep place rather than just joy. Because like my daughter, she's gonna be awesome. I don't know what she's gonna be, but whatever she's gonna be awesome. I have no idea what her story's gonna be when she gets there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I have no idea if it's gonna be a dark story or a good story, or like my dad just played records for me. Like I don't understand how people have to paint some crazy elaborate
Because
picture
it's,
just to make you interested.
Dustin knows this better than anybody at the table. You could be the most talented person and not have a backstory or image or whatever, and they don't want to fuck with you. You got to be the whole package, the total package.
You see how even when he's giving me a compliment, he's actually taking a shot at me?
No,
Dustin knows it.
no, I'm not. No, I give Dustin the most shit.
Good for how shitty you are.
I give Dustin the most shit, but he's one of my favorite people to
bad
listen
you
to.
look the way you
Yeah, well, you can't help that shit. But he's one of my friends that actually, when I'm driving down the road and one of his songs come on, I will listen to. Especially he's got an acoustic album that I fucking love that somebody shared the other day too, that I will listen to. But like when you hear people like Dustin or Brienne Young or somebody like that, and you're like, how come these folks aren't bigger? How come they're not what they're supposed to be or whatever? And it's some people don't play on some of those cards. Some people want to get by on their talent because that should speak volumes. That should be enough. But that's not what a lot of folks want to make it out to be. They want you to have to pull at them heartstrings even before he plays a chord on stage. And I don't know if I like that or not. But also, I'm poor.
That's
If
what
you,
we
if you told me that I was going to be rich tomorrow, if you played on all my traumas, I'd be like, fuck it, I already lived it. Let's let it pay for it. Let's let it pay some bills now.
Yeah, if he could, man, as parents, we would love to see our kids live comfortably, but
I'm always a stickler for like foundations. So when it comes from inspirations, I know that a lot of my shit that I grew up loving and I love more today as an adult, it came from my parents. So like, what was the stuff that you guys were listening to in the car where he was like, whoa, like grabbed his attention? Do you have any of those?
Like, it really was just his own. Like, he
Really?
just, yeah.
So he got to pick all the radio stations in the car? Because I know that's how my dad let him do it.
it's a fight.
Really?
It's a fight.
Like what?
Because he just wants to play. Myles, man, he loves bluegrass.
Oh, yeah.
And, and he's
He's the picker for his
Yeah,
age. He's the
okay,
picker.
yeah.
I mean,
makes sense.
bluegrass is his thing, man, and
And none of us really love it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I'm learning to love it.
it's true.
Yeah.
Bluegrass
Well-
pay the bills.
Well,
you grew up,
Yeah.
you grew up down there,
Right,
so tell
yeah.
the rest of us what it's kind of like.
well, they live in Madisonville, right up the road from where I'm from. But my next door neighbor was Josh Williams, Ron Vincent's guitar player, and he's won IBMA Guitar Player of the Year for like 5 years in a row. But he was my next door neighbor, and I grew up playing bluegrass every night. We'd play, we'd play Waylon and David Allen Coe and all that stuff. But bluegrass is definitely, that's what paid my bills.
Like, did you like live off Ricky Skaggs kind of stuff? Or
Yeah.
just, like, the
Not
deep
even
stuff.
Like Tony Rice was my hero.
Oh.
He still is my hero. God bless him.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I ever heard of Tony Rice.
Tony
song.
Rice.
you have. You
Yeah.
just didn't know. I'll show you later.
But-
Yeah.
Tony Rice is one of the most influential guitar players in bluegrass ever.
Fast, smooth,
Yeah.
so smooth.
Even if he'd miss a note, he'd cover it up so quick. Like, he'd just make that part of the song.
Didn't even have to bend into it. It went from
No.
a minor straight back to it.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah.
It's
Myles
true.
knows
It's
all
the
that
same.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does.
I can see when they're just.
I can tell.
Comes in, he just.
It's instinctual.
Out of the
right?
videos I've seen of him, he's going to be a picker. He's already a picker, but
When did you start playing?
I started when I was like 5. So
Well, what would you compare yourself to Myles right now about that age?
Well, I'd say like he's doing exactly what I did.
Yeah.
That's the same shit. when I saw his videos, I was like, all right, I like this kid doing Waymore's Blues. I'm a Waylon freak.
Yeah, that guy.
So
Yeah.
The first time I saw him, he did Waymore's Blues.
And did it
Yeah.
at his? Did you see where he did it at his middle school?
yeah,
To
Elementary.
be a kid and have the balls to get up there at a middle school, knowing that there's going to be kids be like,
Was it
what the
elementary
fuck
school?
is
I only dreamed about that with my softball bat and karate belt. That's the only shit
I'm still dreaming about that shit now, and I own a guitar.
my
Jamming the
elementary.
Foo Fighters. I couldn't do that.
I grew up a professional square dancer, even being a big kid.
Stop.
I was a clogger.
Round dancer.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, not a square. But anyway, bluegrass that's where I grew up in. That's all we played around home. I was a banjo player, mandolin, fiddle.
Was anybody playing that around y'all's house, or were y'all playing that?
I would, if I had to say someone had influenced him, he's always gone to church, and our pastor of our church, he's a picker,
Okay.
and Myles would literally go up, like he would just stand in front of the stage and just watch,
Being all.
and all.
I was in my 20s the first time I heard an actual, like the first time I played in a church band, and it was like we plugged in. And anytime outside of that, it was all acoustic stuff, all piano and like deep, hard playing, because the difference between acoustic and electric is astronomical when it comes to the feel in a church, right? And the fact that he comes up in something like that means it's deep rooted.
Does he want to
For
play
sure.
gospel music?
He loves it.
He does sometimes.
He loves it.
You know how cool.
He plays at church. Actually,
That'd be such a cool story if he just ended up being like the best gospel player of all time. That's all he wanted
Is
to
that
do.
in your storyline? Is that in the part?
We haven't finished it
Come on now.
up yet, but you know, actually while we were here, I got a call. I haven't even talked to her about it yet. I guess I'll put it out there. A guy named Tyler.
Great time to have first conversation with
Ben-
your wife.
Hey,
Throw it on us before you
said
talk to
Jimmy.
the wife. Oh shit.
Tyler
This is
Dempsey.
how
Yeah.
this is how you don't get shit thrown at you right here in a room
Yeah.
full of people.
Yeah.
And
This
he's
is where you get a
Witnesses.
definite yes.
well, he's trying to hook Myles up with I forgot the gentleman's name now. Matt Reed, and it's apparently he's like gospel division of Capitol Records.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. I haven't even read the text messages yet. He called me and said he'd send the information over.
That's a strong core. We gotta stick
I
together.
mean, but
It's really.
In all
deep.
honesty, though, what other environment would you rather your kid grow up in music?
I wouldn't.
I mean,
Well, from where we're from, that's where
yeah,
we
but
get
if
it.
you think about
That's how I
like,
found music. Really.
if you think about like when you watch movies, you see these kid actors that just lose their shit by the time they're 20 years old
yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
and they've lost everything.
Yeah.
They grow up in environments that are just not very healthy. If you're gonna grow up in music and get paid for it as a kid, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't it be gospel? I mean,
I agree.
there's a lot worse you could be around.
I mean, God bless. Like, who doesn't know Vince Gill, right? I
Oh,
mean,
man.
damn. I mean,
I can call him.
he was. He not only did he tear it up bluegrass, right? But he was so deep rooted in the church that's exactly what drove him. So, Jesus, that's a fucking
Does he ever like express to y'all what he wants to do, or does he just like, I just want to be a kid right now?
He never really has been a kid. Like he wasn't that. Like he didn't care about toys. Like. He just
Well,
wanted
he's to be
instruments.
honest with you,
Yeah,
he
had
looks like a
toys.
70-year-old man.
Yeah.
He
With,
is.
He acts
Anyway.
like one too.
He's the coolest.
He eats
little-
like
it-
one.
Yeah,
eats
even
like
when
one.
like he's been around us at Live Oak or whatever. My daughter, asshole. Like she really is. But if she came to Live Oak or whatever, Gracie'd be like, "Oh, somebody's gonna notice me. Like I'm gonna do something to where you guys know that I'm the star of the show." Myles is the star of the show, and Myles like, I don't give a shit.
tries not to be.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, it's over in the corner.
Downplays it.
That's how I am.
That's cool. Yeah.
Y'all see me live?
You are lying. You want everyone, and if you don't,
Look,
you
look,
do
look.
a
It
hell
depends
of a
on how many
job
drinks he
showing
has. Right.
If I'm drunk,
Yeah,
I love
there
to
it
show
is.
off.
Exactly.
Obviously,
But when I get up there and I'm not drunk, I hadn't had one drink, I literally, people ask me all the time, they're like, why aren't you just a front man? I was like, because I don't want to be a front man.
Yeah.
I want to just do me, play the guitar behind the front man.
do y'all know his cool ass story about him going viral? He goes viral on Broadway with him. I guess you were drunk. I guess.
I wasn't.
Oh well,
That-
just
that
played on
night I
stage, but he
wasn't.
took
I've
a
been
beer
drunk after,
bottle
that's for
and
sure.
used it as a slide. But I mean, he's playing. I mean, he's fucking slicing and dicing up there. And anyway, the video goes viral before he even gets off stage.
Yeah.
Then he gets in his truck after the show. Didn't you fall asleep like right there?
I had 3 shows that day, and my buddy was an off-duty officer, and he got shit-faced at Tootsie. So I only had 2 beers that whole day. That's all I drank that day. And I went to get the truck, bring it down, and load my gear. I said, hey, I'm going to be in the truck. I'm right out here waiting on you. I had my flashes on. Well, I'm sitting there waiting on him, and never came out, and I doze off. 5 minutes later, there's a knock on the window, and they charged me for a DUI.
While his video's going viral, while everybody's like going, he ended up in Whiskey Rift. He ended up on a lot of shit. But while he's going viral, he's literally
I was in the
fucking
drunk
jail cell, in the drunk
For
tank.
not even being drunk. I blew up 0.4.
Some outlaw shit.
I didn't know I went viral until I got out of jail the next morning when they handed me my phone back in the bag. Got my phone out and turned my phone on. And there's like 50,000 messages and shares. Teddy Swims shared it. Ernest shared it. Rowdy Rob. I mean,
That's awesome.
everybody has shared that video. And there's been 4 others that have went viral since that video that I didn't even post. I hadn't posted none of those videos.
Who always shared Myles' stuff? Because I know there's been several people that I've seen on y'all social media that just seems so cool.
Tyler Booth, he shares it quite a bit.
Love
but,
Tyler.
Grace Potter is the one that
I love her so much.
She's the one that really put him out there to Kenny Chesney and Grace Bowers and
Oh, they had the tequila song together, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Grace
God
messaged.
almighty, she's
Grace
good.
Bowers messaged me yesterday. Oh my God, she's amazing.
yeah, she's pretty
Yeah.
tough. But man, there's a bunch of them. I mean, it's a bunch of them.
Does it? When I asked him at Live Oak the other day about meeting Kenny, to him it was just like I went to Walmart and just hung out. He was monotone about it. I'd have been shitting my pants if Kenny Chesney wanted to meet me. Even now.
Well, Kenny, I don't think he realized how big Kenny was.
Yeah.
I mean,
How cool is that your kid likes bluegrass and gospel
Like
and,
Kenny
and
what?
way more blues and Waylon and all that?
Yeah.
It's like, who's Kenny Chesney?
You know who one of his favorite artists is a guy named Leroy Troy.
Yes.
And
I've never heard of him.
that's like his man. He's became like a grandfather figure for music to him.
Yeah.
We met him at Luke Bell's memorial service.
Okay.
They had at Circle P Ranch, and they played all night together, and we had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
And
He's such a cool dude. I remember watching him on Marty Stewart show on RFD TV. Leroy, he does all the Uncle Dave making stuff with the banjo. Like he'll spin it under his leg while he's playing, just claw hammer all the way.
That's
Love it.
fucking cool.
he's tough. He's
Yes.
tough.
That's cool.
He's a great guy, man.
What are y'all leaning towards as far as? I don't even know how to put this. I know you ain't pulling him out of school or anything like that. Probably that's not an option. But like if he comes to you like 16 years old and say, I want to pursue music full time, like are y'all going to be the type that's like, let's do this or let's finish the education?
If the right opportunity would come along, I would take him out now. She ain't having it. Like she's just not gonna have it. Because man, how often can you live your dream?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, how often? I mean,
A few of us are in the middle of that right now. Yeah.
That's what happened for me. My mom died when I was 16 or 17, and 2 days after she died, my dad's sitting in his rocking chair, and he's just thinking about stuff. And I walked up and I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do. He's like, well, I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna get your ass out of school, and you're gonna take $200 of mine and move to Nashville. And I lived out of my truck for 2 years in a Music City Bar and Grill parking lot, and I've been here ever since. And I've played with multiple artists. I've just been, that's my life.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 with it too. But there's so much shit that I learned in school that I forgot now. I just feel like it was a waste of time. It's done nothing for me
I've
as
never used anything.
far as this. But at the same time, like maybe I'm not the person.
I'm pretty good at
maybe I wouldn't be
geography.
the,
all right?
maybe I wouldn't be the person that I am today if I wouldn't have. Maybe
I'm pretty
there's some
solid in
skills or
algebra, but I
something that
can't do
learned
the
there.
things that are important.
I think the social skills are the biggest part of school anyway.
true.
Like, I think learn how to socialize, interact, the ups and downs of it, the learning at a young age that there's deadlines on shit and respect and all this kind of stuff. I think there's that, but
Grow up real fast. I mean, there's success stories of those people, like, not to drop them, but like Trisha Yearwood and Eric Church, those people that their parents said, listen, you're going to go to school and you're going to finish this and you're going to you're going to get this bachelor's degree. That way I can support you if you have something to fall back on, right? If this doesn't work. And it's good for parents to have safety nets, but kids are dreamers. You know what I mean? If you want to just turn it loose at a young age, it's good to have the support. I mean, like Chili Dog, goddamn, if somebody would have been there with him this whole time, you never know what the outcome could have been, good or bad.
it could have been Dustin Harris.
It could have been very
Had to
different.
finish college.
Yeah.
Dustin's got a whole ass. Boy, I thought you was hitting me. Thank you. He's got a whole ass. What do you have? A master's in like farming, agriculture.
Goddamn overalls he's got on, it makes sense. Shit. It's fucking fancy.
Would you go back and would you go to college and finish out at Auburn, or would you have just said I want to just go straight on with music and not even try to go to college?
See, mine's different. Had I not went to college, I wouldn't have done music
You would have found it.
because
Yeah.
I didn't play
It's a
music
path,
until
yeah.
I went to college.
I didn't know
even.
that.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't have a guitar or anything
shit,
until I was
yeah.
21 years old.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where I found. That's where we had internet for the first time. Like that's internet.
I didn't.
You know what I mean? You get to college. you
Down
start-
in L.A., Lower
Yeah.
Alabama.
When I got to Auburn, man, you finally get these touring bands, and you find out about all these different bands I'd never even heard of.
grinding.
And then you meet like I was lucky because like Adam Hood was from Opelika, so that was basically Auburn. So you got Adam Hood, you got Chris Posey, all these people. Jamie Johnson would come through. That was all new to me, and I didn't know that was such thing. And then that gets you into the Texas stuff and the Oklahoma stuff. And then by then, now I'm getting the itch. Well, yeah, I'm getting through with my degree, but now I got the itch. And like I said, I didn't even start playing. I didn't even learn. I didn't even get my first guitar until my 21st birthday. That was a birthday present.
I didn't yet. It makes sense.
What age was your first show then?
Say that again.
What age was your first show then?
Probably 22. I probably finally got the guts to like plug in and play somewhere. Like, as a matter of fact, I had some buddies that were, just kind of playing, for tips and stuff like that, make some side money. We had a great bar called the Strut and Duck. They had an open mic night on Mondays following one of my friends playing. And he played some other show one time, and I got up and played Seminole Wind, and I just remember him looking at me like, last year you didn't even know how to do this, because I was asking him how to play and stuff. But caught that bug. I watched that movie Crazy Heart, and I was like, I was in grad school at the time. I watched Crazy Heart, and I was like, I want to do that. And, Crazy Heart pretty much full circles everything. You start off, you want to learn. It goes into all the goods and the bads and the heartbreak and the
Hey, folks, here's a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back to the show in about 3 minutes. One of the artists that I would really like for y'all to take a look at is my guy, Mark Ware. Mark was in here a couple weeks ago. He tells his story. You guys need to go listen to that episode. Also, go follow all of his social media. Mark Ware Music on everything. Dude is solid. He's a good friend of the show. Go look him up now. Mark Ware Music. Let me tell you about my girl, Miss Erica, with Crooked W Consulting. She has a small marketing and design agency out of North Carolina. She offers small, affordable business solutions that tailor your business and startups nationwide. She's currently doing my new website. I'm telling you, folks, you need to let her do yours. She's doing us a jam-up job. She also offers digital marketing, graphic design, and social media management. If I'm using her here at the studio, there ain't no reason why your small business shouldn't. Look her up on Facebook and Instagram at Crooked W Consulting, or text her now at 919-351-2084. Crooked W Consulting. Hit up Miss Erica now. You won't be disappointed. Let's give a quick shout out to Nobles Networking. Guys, if you're looking for a new internet provider, they hook me up here at the studio and at my house. If you live out in the country and you can't find nowhere else where to get your internet, or you're paying too much for Hargrave or any of that other shit, look up Nobles Networking. 478-308-0596. You are going to love it. I'm telling you, it works great for me. It runs everything here at the studio in my house perfectly. Hit up Nobles Networking. Let me tell you about Lori's Dive-In in Alamo, Georgia. I ran her ad several times now. She's been with me since I started doing this stuff. Even if it's not convenient for you, take some time, go out of your way, and go eat there. I promise you won't be disappointed. She takes pride in her staff, her food, her service, every single aspect. So, please go check out Lori's Dive-In in Alamo, Georgia at 8 Commerce Street. And the phone number is 912-568-1645. Lori's Dive-In. If you've seen me wearing hats lately that's got DYH on it, it stands for Down Yonder Hat Co. Seth Bazemore, a buddy of mine, he owns that company, and he has sent me some of their hats. Let me tell you, I love them. I've worn them in a lot of my stuff lately, and I plan on wearing them a lot more. I've showed them to some of my friends. He has a startup business, and I'm telling you guys, you would absolutely love them. So do me a favor. Go right now to his Instagram at Down Yonder Hat Co. Check them out. They also have a website, downyonderhatco.com. Order some stuff from them and tag them on Instagram. And when you do, make sure when you make the post, you say that you heard about the hats and Down Yonder right here on the Josh Terry Podcast. Now, let's get to the show.
Everything.
That's one with Jeff Bridges, isn't it?
Right. Yeah,
What was the one that had like River Phoenix in it, where he was in Nashville and just like grinding it out? Y'all remember that one? I don't know. We need a Google guy.
Is River Phoenix?
River Phoenix died at a young age.
River Phoenix. That was like one of his last movies they did. That's Joaquin Phoenix's older brother. He died outside of Studio 54.
You know,
That was a
Kenny
big
Chesney,
deal.
he didn't start playing until he was in college.
Yeah.
He got a
You mean
bluegrass album.
Luke Combs? Damn. Yeah, it's the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't really find it until, and I was at Georgia. I mean, the first time I really heard like Corey Smith live. I don't know if y'all know who Corey Smith is, but
he's one of my favorites.
right, that's the first time I really heard him, and I was like, oh shit, you can be a science teacher, like a high school science teacher, and literally come here at night and just play.
The movie's called The Thing Called Love.
I think I'll love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I've never heard
seen
of
it?
it. I've never seen it.
Oh
I've
man,
heard
that's a
of
good
it.
one. Okay, that's a deep cut. You'll like that one.
So I guess I was lucky growing up because all my neighbors played music. Like
Oh, man.
the bass player, like my dad's buddy that he went to school with, actually played bass with Hank Jr., played with Waylon, Dave Allen Co., played with all those guys. And he lived like 3 doors down, right next to me. And
Also
Josh
a good
Williams.
band. Yeah. Go ahead.
Anyway, they'd have jam sessions at like their shops around the town,
Yeah.
and my parents would take me to every one of them. And most of these jams were like 80-year-old players, like fiddle players, dobro players. We had a guy named J.T. Bell. He was a dobro player, and he built his own dobros, like just in his house. He was never married. He was like 80, 84, but I actually still own one of his dobros.
That's cool.
That he built.
What was the lead guitarist for Queen?
Brian
Brian May.
May.
Brian
Yep.
May. Brian May. I mean, that's probably
Him
the
and his
most,
dad.
That's probably the most educated band in music history,
Yeah.
because every one of them had like a master's or doctorates in like astrophysicist and shit.
Yeah.
But Brian May literally built his own guitar because he could not figure out the correct tone that he wanted to play, and now it's just
him and his
iconic.
dad did it, man.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I
So
remember.
yeah,
Speaking of
education
jam-
versus.
Speaking of jam sessions, how does he? Who's the young boy that goes everywhere with him? Is that y'all son too?
No, that's our daughter's boyfriend.
Okay. Who does he play with? Does he play with anybody else around there? Or is it just those two?
Just them two. No, he just picked up a guitar probably 2 years ago, and he was always playing mine. And I was like, so me and her just jumped in the car and went to Guitar Center and bought him one night. And was like, and man, he picked it up pretty quick. So
I can't understand it at all. I bought one last
It's
like
harder
February.
to pick it up. It's hard to pick it up at an older age.
Yeah, I can't. My daughter, she's already not decent or whatever. She gets it, understands it way better than I do.
I bought my dad the Keith Urban package because he wanted to start playing, and he was like, he watched like one DVD, and he's like, I'm out. I'm gonna go ride horses.
Why not the Randy Jackson? You got the Keith Urban one?
Hey, it was on sale, I think.
The fuck are you two talking
I
about?
love my dad.
We're
a
talking
pretty
about
good
the
bit.
TV specials where they had the package, the
Yeah.
beginner.
You talking about
guitar.
the Nah Dog teaches you how to?
No, it's
play
like a
guitar?
whole DVD set where you run through like how to like chord progressions and how to put your fingers and stuff.
Yeah.
And my dad made it through, and he was just like, I can't fucking do this. Here, you can have all this. And I was like, I know it. I don't. I don't fucking
Did
want
he
it."
learn by watching YouTube, or did somebody teach him?
man, he started by watching, I guess, that preacher at church, and man, he watches YouTube, but you know he's got that finger now, but man, even
I'm
when he-
always. Is it on his playing?
it's on
now?
it's his index finger.
It is
on
index
his-
finger
on his
because
playing
I'm
hand.
always watching him when I see his
And it's-
finger. I was wondering, so that makes more sense now.
So does he not use it?
No, he can't.
He literally uses this
Three.
in the ring.
But you know,
So tell them what you're showing me. He doesn't use an index finger.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he'll use his middle finger and the ring finger.
Yeah, so he doesn't. It's tough to bark to reach all the way across. I mean, he's already has his hands aren't quite all the way big enough to reach across the neck, but already now his fingers, a third of the size.
I was
Two-thirds.
wondering why he's always just using that one finger doing all the.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
but you know, he was 3 days out of surgery, and we caught him. He had his little cast on, and we heard the guitar playing, and we walked in there, and he's what? He's only 7 years old at the time, 8 years old, maybe.
7.
And so that's only been a few years ago.
Wow,
So I mean, he was in there
Jeez
playing.
Louise, dude.
that boy, he's gonna do big things.
I don't want to like fast forward, obviously, but I would love to see to know what he's going to be in 10 years.
Me too.
I mean, I just think it's cool because I could go hit a ball, throw a ball, whatever, but I couldn't play an instrument. So to me, this is just insane that somebody is 35 years old and can't understand it for shit, but you got a kid that is that good and he's
Yep.
11. Like it's just kind of like what's the word? It's prodigy.
Yeah.
Prodigy. He just feels like I feel like I'm watching a little prodigy.
I wish
when I look
wish
at his
he was
stuff.
here
Yeah.
because I'd love to.
Just watch him
Yeah,
do it.
just
It's really
watch.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's cool. Seeing him in person do it. I mean, watching the videos is cool. But those quiet moments at a writer's round when you actually have like a packed house or whatever, a lot of people there, and when people shut the hell up and actually listen are my favorite moments.
Yeah.
But it's like when the artist shuts them up though, like by whatever they're playing, how good they're doing or whatever. And Myles has done the show with us twice now at Live Oak. Both times you can damn near hear a pin drop while he's playing. And then you get somebody else out there and everybody goes right back to talking. It's so cool to see him in his element
Just
and
attract
actually
attention
do
without,
it, dude.
without trying to.
That last time was good too because he
Quiet.
had the dude with him. But the first time when he's just by himself on the end of that stage, that dude commanded the room even at that age.
Oh yeah,
And speaking of his buddy that he plays with, who is his buddy?
Caden Dame is his.
What else he do?
Man, he just,
What's he like, 16,
Yeah, he's 17 now.
17?
Yeah, he's a little hustler, man. He's out trying to start businesses, mow yards, and
Hey,
I mean he's a worker in school. He's in high school.
I might start doing that shit soon.
Oh man,
I'm gonna have to go back cutting grass for too long.
He
Or
was
going
just-
back. I ain't never cut no fucking grass. I'm gonna have to
He
start.
was just at our house all the time because him and our daughter. And so I guess to have something in common with Myles, like that's what he started doing
Yeah.
was just, picking.
It's good
I bet
vibes.
he spends more time with Myles now than he does
He
with
does.
your daughter, doesn't he?
He does.
You can see they vibe. I would have thought that was his brother. The way that they vibe as
I
good
thought
as
it
they
was
do.
too.
and man, they act like brothers. They're pretty close.
Yeah, you can tell it's cool. It's cool to watch them. I like hearing them do the Mountain Dew one.
Yeah, Leroy is the one that taught him that. Song.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
that's my favorite song they do. She hates it.
You don't like the Mountain Dew song?
It never stops.
Well, that's
I
it. It
understand
just seems
that.
like
All day.
anytime I just like glance or whatever, seems like he's doing another video or whatever of that, or on a live doing it or
It's
whatever.
their favorite.
So, y'all being from Madisonville, do y'all know who Carol Payton Band is? I think they still do. They do a Friday and Saturday night. It's a big jam band where they get all their buddies. It's basically a jam session. But they play at the old Carhartt factory in Seabury up there. And I'd go up there and play with them all the time.
You need to take Myles next time you go.
Yeah, for
That'd be
sure.
cool.
I mean, y'all definitely need to go supervise. I would not.
Come on now.
Don't drop him off.
Chili dog.
Hey,
Yeah, 100% kids on Whiskey Riff the next day, but maybe not for the reason. you are.
2-star babysitter.
I thought every time he sings, because he sings like he's got a chaw on his lip.
I thought he did.
I
Same
thought he
thing.
did too.
I was like,
I
okay,
was like,
he's dipping
this is
already?
going to be
This
my
kid's
new little
awesome.
buddy.
I did.
Like,
Well, around where I'm from, dipping at a young age ain't even weird.
No.
Like,
well,
it's
that's
not-
normal shit. You just
Uh,
have
But-
one on you.
I was like, this kid's badass.
I can't get over how badass he is, to be honest with you.
You know, he picks all of his clothes.
Yeah.
That's every day. That's what he wears every
Yeah.
day. I mean, he
That's I give Kimberly Atwood a lot of credit because I just think she's just like a full-blown ass artist, which Dustin, Chili, and everybody is too. But like, she just is always her. Like every time you see her, she's bell bottoms,
Just on.
sweater shirt,
Yeah.
messy hair, glasses. That's always her. It does not matter when you see her. Myles reminds me of the same thing. He's a little art. He already knows who he is.
Yes.
And even like talking to him a little bit, I don't think there's any veer in that kid. I think he's going to do what he wants to do. And if
Did
he
you
gets
say
to the
beer?
point, veer.
I thought
Like
you said
veer.
beer.
See, that's why you're not watching the fucking kid by yourself.
Damn.
Ah, busted.
That right there, Chili.
Can't have shit.
Oh, well, we ain't got no milk, but we got some Jaeger. It'll go
Hey.
down smooth.
We ain't got no chocolate milk, but
What,
we damn
um,
sure got some Jack Daniels.
Does he?
That's
Does he
exactly
have any?
why.
Does he have any minor interests outside of music?
Yeah, I was actually
What
curious
does he
that-
do?
So he does have some friends from school that he'll play the game with occasionally, but
Which game? Like the game? What's the game?
was it Fortnite maybe?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Video
hell.
game.
So
I
does he have the
honestly
headset
thought
and he
that he
does
was
the
gonna
talking
hate
with
that
them and
stuff.
stuff while
he
he's
does.
playing?
He doesn't love it, but I mean, they are his buddies, so that's
Yeah.
how he. But you know,
Well,
like
that's good. You gotta
an
have that
hour at
outlet.
a time, and
Yeah,
then
just
he's-
something that you're not doing the thing that you're destined to do all the time. You want to
I
just turn it
actually,
loose.
this is what I thought Myles would be like. I thought that he wouldn't like other kids if they didn't do music.
Yeah.
I thought
that's
that.
how I was
I
growing
thought
up.
You
that.
gotta
how-
have that though.
No, you don't. Like
you do.
He already seems like he knows what makes him happy. That's the thing.
Yeah, but kids, man, all kids want to like they
You
seek
don't remember
the
growing
approval.
up because you played baseball with me.
They seek
You
the
don't
approval
remember
of their
it-
friends.
You don't remember if a kid didn't play baseball, you're like, not that you disliked them. You're like, I don't need to be around them.
Well, I was weird though because I mean I've rodeoed and shit, so I didn't
Oh,
interest
yeah.
outside of the things that people associated me with. So that's why I like asking the question because it's like when you love music, there's got to be a thing outside of that, right?
I didn't
Because,
think
like,
he would have a thing,
Yeah.
So
it's-
he.
but in a good way. I thought he was so invested in what he was doing and
shit,
loved
like
it so much.
roller skating or fucking
He's
gardening
like, I don't have
or
time- I don't have
some-
time for this
something.
other shit.
You
I
gotta
tried
have something
skateboarding
that's
and
not.
I broke the board.
That makes sense.
So many of his friends
We'll
are
blame the
always
board.
interested in like the guitar, and they're like, "Hey, Myles, can you show me?" He doesn't have the patience for that. He's like, "I'm like, Myles, they want to play guitar." He's like, "Mom, they don't know how." Like he doesn't have the patience
Yeah.
to sit and teach them. Like he
Yeah.
just,
I mean, it's true.
if
like,
they don't know, he doesn't want to do that.
It's just
with them.
pure. Can you imagine?
Do
like,
they ask him
Can
to
you
play?
imagine
They do.
Michael Jordan
Like,
trying
do
to
they,
teach you how
like,
to
do
throw a
they
free throw?
genuinely enjoy
Right.
watching
It
him?
wouldn't
Yeah,
work.
the kids at his school are always like, I mean, even several times during the classroom, just regular day, they would say, "Can you bring your guitar in and play?" And you know, the teacher would let him just play in front of the class.
That
But they
makes
love
me
that.
so happy.
I got in so much trouble
lose
because
my
I bring
shit.
my guitar every day. Like
would
there
lose
was
my
not a
mind.
time the guitar was not next to me, and
Chili, you was not doing your work anyway.
I wasn't.
I know if I wasn't doing mine, you wasn't doing yours.
The only work I was doing was in a history class. I love history.
I love history
That's
too.
cool.
I'm a
But
big
it's
history
funny
buff.
because I could
That is
tell.
a commonality in this profession, I guess.
I didn't care about all the other history stuff, but when it comes to like country music history,
Oh, dude.
I told the teacher
Yeah,
everything he wanted to know
that's true.
about music history.
I like that.
What's funny, Gracie's like that with her music class because all the stuff she listens to with me or whatever, and like I half the time don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, so I'll tell her something thinking I've heard it one time and it being true. And then she'll go to history class or her music class, and they'll be like, "This did not happen."
Music
this way."
appreciation
It's
and theory.
Not at all.
Right, School of Rock.
So the coolest thing to me was back when CMT actually did country music. There was a music historian. I can't think of his name. It's escaping me. Gray-headed guy, gray little goatee or whatever. He always told you like the dirt. Now, this is what they said happened, but this is what really happened.
Yeah.
Well, now with social media and all this stuff, and you learn all this. And I thought I knew a lot about country music. I knew a lot about songs. I will say that before I ever played music, I was like the go-to. I should have been a radio DJ probably because I made burnt CDs after burnt CDs. My truck was the one that was probably not my truck was playing it because I didn't have the greatest sound system, but my CDs were the ones getting played at the bonfire parties and all that. Yeah. Long story short, when you get to town, you go sit at these bars, you know, and those 3 o'clock afternoon conversations on Music Row, that's where you hear, you know, Dolly did this, or, you know, everybody says George did that, but that ain't, and I'm just sitting there just soaking it all up because I don't know shit from Shinola, but I just want to, you know, and then here you go somewhere else, and you have to hear somebody tell you, I heard this story about George Jones, and they get the story so wrong. Yeah. They're close, but you just sit there and you're like, you know, I'm not.
That's part of the legend, though.
Yeah,
with
they
some
continue
people,
to
though.
just build it.
You got it. Some of them you embellish, but hell, you want to. Like George didn't drink 45 beers before he went on stage. He drank 100.
Quit downplaying.
I think,
Meanwhile, Chili Dog was there.
Right there in it. Tell you right now.
Hey.
he can call George Jones right now and he'll pick up.
Yeah. He'll climb out of the damn grave for damn sure.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh. That's what
You
I
gonna
was
tell
saying.
something, or you said anyway? Like,
Yeah, I was
combo.
trying to think. I forgot.
Well, don't do that.
fucked
You're
my
liable
head
to
up.
hurt yourself.
I'm hurting now.
History of country music.
Oh,
Knowing the truth.
I was going to tell y'all, like when I first came to town, my parents, what the hell am I'm acting like I'm on stage right now. When I first came to town, my parents brought me, and it was like, I want to say about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We walk into Music City Bar and Grill, and there's an old classic country band playing. And me and Dad walk into the bathroom. We walk back out, and I had a Waylon t-shirt on, and this guy sitting at the bar goes, son, I like your shirt. And I was like, well, thanks. And the bartender's like, you know who that is? And I was like, no. It was Waylon steel player, Robbie Turner. And we sat there and talked for 4 hours. Me, my mom, and him.
How old were you?
And Dad. I was, 7?
God damn it.
And cigarettes. That's all it was.
Have y'all took him around with his guitar on his back or anything, like around Broadway or some of those bars or anything?
Not really. We was in. That's how he met Rufus Page, which took him to Circle P Ranch, which took him to meet Leroy Troy. Was he had his guitar with him in a boot store in a boot barn at the mall, and then he was like, "Hey, can you play that thing?" And he just pulled it out and played. You know, obviously played Waylon, and that opened the door for him here around here, and then. Man, I'm not sure how we even got on.
I saw the video for him on the talent show. I remember being tagged in it a lot of times. I think that's the first video I posted. It like blew up, and the people who listened to the show, they knew how much I liked that kind of stuff. They tagged the shit out of it. It's like, you got to get this kid on the show. And y'all were nice enough that when I messaged you, you got right back with me.
Yeah, I think it was simultaneously almost.
What kind of guitar was he lugging around?
Taylor GS Mini.
Ah, okay. The travel guitar. Just little guy.
They're damn good guitars.
Good guitar.
I'd rather have one of those than a full-size Taylor. I hate Taylors, but I love those GS Minis.
Yeah, they sound good.
What's going to be like, I guess it's kind of a hard question, but if he decides tomorrow to put down music and just be a normal-ass kid, even though you know he's got this gift, because I've seen kids like that in sports before.
Yeah.
They just get burnt out.
Burn up, yeah.
Yeah, and they just don't want to do it no more. Do y'all feel like as long as he's happy, you're good? Or are y'all going to be like, I think we're missing a big opportunity here?
Yeah, it's not about us for this. It's him. If he decides, like we took the whole month of June and pretty much didn't do anything. We was like we're not planning anything in June. so he could. Now he's played every day.
Be a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a summer break. Now July is a little busy, but man, if he decides to, it's whatever he wants to do. You know, it's his life. He's got to live it.
I'm glad that y'all are like that. I really am. Because, like I said, I've seen just in sports, parents overdo it. Kid doesn't ever want to play again, and they're just wasting the talent that you know is there.
Or when they just pick one lane. I mean, I've seen over and over again baseball parents that they just wanted to push, nothing but baseball. But I've seen the greatest players that I've played with or coached, they were well-rounded. They played multiple sports.
They were just athletic.
They did more. They were in debate club. They did chess club. They did all kind of stuff. You know, it's nice to have somebody that pushes you in different directions to try to, which is down the avenue you want to go. Right? If music is your thing, you know, develop this avenue, which makes you even better down the road in something else.
He's going to get to the point, too, where he's going to say, okay, now I'm going to go to
right
an electric, or I might want to try some steel.
Turn
and
the fuck loose.
That'll give him a break on that. And then he's going
different interest.
Then he's going to start songwriting. Then he's going to start.
He's already wrote something, hasn't he? Isn't that what he was telling me?
If you open up the notes in his phone, he has song after song after song.
And you got a little prodigy.
They're not.
I'm telling you.
They're not all finished, just little parts of them.
But you know, he contacted you over at one song. He had me write you, and he hadn't finished that.
The lyrics that came over, I was thoroughly impressed because they were serious content.
Yeah, he tries.
Hold on, well, you knew we were going to take a break at some point in time. So anyway, you were saying about the lyrics that they had sent to you?
Oh, I was thoroughly impressed. You could tell that he had wrote them because the organization of them, but I was like, these are topics that a youngin', how he knows this or wants to talk about it, and I think it corresponded back, you know, with you, like, okay, yeah, I'm down the ride or whatever. I don't want to ever push anything. I don't want to ever force anything, but if I can help guide or whatever, I'm all about it. But I think that the best thing for him to do is just write as much as possible and don't worry about trying to be perfect. And that's going to be hard for him. It's hard for everybody when you start off because you're not – first of all, you used to not get recorded right off the bat. Nobody videoed you. Nobody gave you your notoriety. You just played what you played. A couple people heard it. If it was a turd, it was a turd. You got to, you know, take your batting practice and stuff.
Develop.
And he's trying to put it right there on the record right off the bat. And
yeah, there's people hearing him putting something out right away to where I've never thought about how you just put it, but somebody putting it out right away, it didn't go through any channels first.
It's true.
It didn't go through anybody filtering
filters,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not to where if it was a turd, and everybody's going to fucking do a turd every once in a while. It just happens. I mean, Dustin Herron's
that's
never.
not even what I meant. What I meant was, imagine you're trying. You have right now, Myles has the potential to be a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah.
He's trying to put together a Major League performance right now.
Yeah.
And he has the ability. It's there. The desire is there. Skills are there. All that. He just needs to play for 17 years.
So what
get there.
so,
You know
so
what I
like,
mean?
so like
Saying-
what you're saying is that he's not even throwing out turds. He literally has the fucking the gas to go, and he hadn't even had the time to just show it to people. Fuck, man.
I'd love for him to come and jam on one of my day shows downtown.
That'd be sweet.
Come
I
up,
love that.
That'd be cool.
Super sweet.
bring him down. Before y'all leave, I'll get your number, and y'all bring him down. I'll get him up, and we'll just shred. We'll play.
Like that. Like
Well,
that.
to end this, because I'm sure y'all give him encouragement all the time, but I'm sure Myles is going to listen to this. Y'all give him like a little bit of encouragement coming from y'all, because I know that with all of us, we can't wait to see him again. And I know what meant the world to me when I was a kid is when mom and dad did something and it got back to me. So y'all drop him a little bit of encouragement real fast. Be sweet and shit. Put you on the spot.
Send him a message that he'll listen to 10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly.
And he'll listen to it.
Yeah,
15.
something that where he can go back when he's having them shitty days like we all have and be like, okay, this is
Why did you start doing it?
yeah. Why did I start right here?
Well, I'll just say, Myles, even though I'm constantly saying, turn it down,
Heard that one.
take a break. I really am excited and can't wait to see what you're going to do next or what song you're going to show me next. I really do love it.
That was
You got through that way easier than I would have. I'd been crying like a bitch by now.
Oh, man. That's how effortless it is. That's how like over the top this shit is. It's so incredible to know that this kid's doing what he's doing and has all the support in the background. That's beautiful, man. I really love it.
Well, man, I love Myles. I mean, he if it never left our living room, like that's been my favorite moments ever with them kids playing. My daughter is we haven't even talked about her, but she is a phenomenal singer.
Man.
And so is Rebecca.
What are y'all drinking down there? What do you got going on? We got to figure it out. Yeah. Water? Got it.
That's life.
No fluoride.
it's in the Kentucky.
I'm telling you.
It might be,
Spring water.
but man, I'm proud of Myles. I don't care if he ever picks up another guitar. You know, it's all about what makes him happy. So I love you, man.
That's cool.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all coming to hang out and everything. And drop Myles' social media real fast. So just in case somebody's listening to this and they haven't seen Myles' stuff yet, they know where to go to.
It's Myles Gee Music on Instagram, and TikTok has kind of jumped back up. It's Myles Gee Official. You'll find him. I mean, he.
Type in
actually-
11-year-old badass playing country music on anything,
It's
and
true.
he's probably going to pop up.
Googles.
That's all he has right now. He don't have anything else, I don't think.
And we'll be sure to share it, too.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank y'all for coming to hang out, and thank you, boys, for participating and being part of this, too.
Thank you for letting me
Thank
get
you
drunk.
for letting us.
Yeah,
You're not going to say thank you, Dustin, for the opportunity?
The microphone was not available, but I
You're,
appreciate the opportunity very much.
You're
all welcome for being here.
All right, folks. Well, thank y'all for listening to the Josh Terry podcast. Join us today at Live Oak, or whatever day this comes out. I guess it'll be in the morning. Join us June the 21st at Live Oak from 2 to 6 for the Josh Terry podcast and the Raisin Grace Riders Rounds.
Worst comes to worst, I'll be driving Miles' bus one day.
Hell now.
I'll just handle his social media. Kim, you're not going to be hired. But Chili Dog, merch
Hey.
guy, Chili Dog's going to be whoever dresses him.
Yep.
I'm just going to be the
Wardrobe
drunk on the
coordinator.
bus.
We'll see y'all later.